Countdown Conspiracy, Chapter 4, Part 1. It's so good to meet everyone, Esteban gushes once we've walked over to the rest of the team. He immediately pulls Anna into a hug and her eyes bug out. Then Esteban moves down the line, embracing each Mars cadet in turn. Do I need to hug them all now, too? I squirm a little where I stand. I shouldn't have let Esteban go first. Luckily, Anna saves me by holding out her hand. Congratulations, she says. Yeah, you too, I reply. Just like at the youth advancing astronomy competition. Her expression isn't exactly friendly, but we're not off to as bad of a start as I'd feared we would be. Najma comes over to me. I'm happy to meet you, Miranda. Before I can reply, Matsuo Tamaki steps in front of Najma, grabs my hand, and shakes it firmly. Hey, welcome. Thanks to both of you. I smile. Tamaki gives me a wink and my face flushes. I knew that as a famous solar car racer, he'd be somewhat intimidating to meet, but I wasn't prepared for him to literally look like the epitome of awesome. His hair spikes up, and he's got a bleached arc of it curving over his left ear. Both ears are pierced with silver studs. And then Rahim walks up. He's the cadet I know the least about, and he seems to be Tamaki's opposite in every way. Wearing a button-down shirt with khakis and shiny dress shoes, Rahim slouches slightly as he shuffles forward to offer me his hand. Nice to meet you, Miranda, he says. Nice to meet you too, Rahim. How are you feeling? I ask. He's got a badge covering his other hand. I'm fine. I wasn't in the car. We were just walking to it. The tone of his voice sounds as automated as the one my Droidlet GPS uses. Oh, I reply. Well, I'm glad that you weren't hurt too bad. I'm glad none of you were seriously hurt, Najma exclaims. So many attacks. Yeah, I say, we were lucky. We're beyond relieved you're all safe. Dr. Schubert walks up to join our little circle with Mr. Burnett. That was quite a scare you three had. Esteban, Rahim, and I nod, and then Mr. Burnett claps his hands. Well, terrifying explosions aside, welcome everyone. I haven't been introduced to most of you yet. I'm Owen Burnett, Dr. Schubert's graduate student. And I've already met each of you, Dr. Schubert says. So how about we take you to your dormitory so you can settle in before dinner? Zipping up our coats, we leave the hangar, heading back out into the intense cold. The frigid wind fights us each step of the way to the main building. Once we're finally there, Dr. Schubert punches in a code at the door, and there's a whooshing noise as it slides open. We nearly fall over ourselves trying to get inside. That temperature shouldn't be allowed to exist, Najma says, shivering next to me. I nod, rubbing my arms. I can't imagine what this would feel like to someone raised near the equator. To the far end of our group, Tamaki and Anna both struggle to look composed. Rahim rubs at his arms, same as me, and says nothing. What do you think our rooms will be like? Esteban asks as we head through the maroon carpeted entranceway. Probably awesome, Tamaki shrugs off his parka. I mean, we're the Mars cadets. Our rooms need to be awesome. Our rooms don't need to be anything but practical, Anna chides from ahead of us, not even bothering to turn around. She follows Dr. Schubert through a double set of doors. The walls in this hallway are covered in pictures of previous astronaut crews, satellites, and several of the old space shuttle launches. We meet back up with Dr. Mayworth in front of a door, and Dr. Schubert pauses. Mr. Burnett, would you mind showing the boys their quarters? Dr. Mayworth can take the girls to theirs. I need to go get Dr. Singh settled in. Sure thing, Mr. Burnett replies, swiping his Droidlet up against the door we've stopped in front of. It swings open. Tamaki and Esteban nearly smash into each other, each trying to get through the door first. Mr. Burnett follows them, and Rahim trails behind. So cool, Esteban shouts. Najma and I catch each other's eye, then simultaneously try to peer into the room. But Dr. Mayworth swipes her Droidlet and the door shuts before we have a chance to see much. Anna tisks from behind us. Come on now, let's get you three to your rooms, Dr. Mayworth says. The tall, gray-haired professor then walks with us on a new path through the halls, asking us a little about ourselves as we go. After a couple of minutes of awkward conversation, Dr. Mayworth swipes her droidlet at a new door. Home sweet home, she says, stepping back. The door opens to reveal a big room with a massive window off the back. And now I can see what Esteban thought was so great. Comfortable armchairs surround a large interactive tabletop. Every wall is a programmable touchscreen. I can see the faint traces of solar glass built into the window, probably powering the bulk of the room's lighting if I had to guess. It's like someone took all the newest home tech and prototyped it in this one space. And we get to live here. The three rooms to the left are your bedrooms, Dr. Mayworth explains. Then she gestures to the right. The bathroom is opposite them, over there. It's shared, but you'll need to get used to sharing among yourselves for your mission. So why not start now? We all wander farther in. Do we have assigned rooms? Najma asks, looking at the trio of bedroom doors. No, Dr. Mayworth answers. It's entirely up to you three to pick your own. I turn to the girls to see how we want to decide who gets what, but then Anna just up and says, I'll take this one. She walks to the door farthest from the dormitory entrance without looking back. Well, okay then, I say. Mind if I take the room on the left? Najma asks, fiddling with her fingers. I mean, you can have it if you'd like, but I'm not sure I want to be in the middle. No, it's fine, I find myself saying. All yours. And then Najma's gone too, and I'm left in the common room with Dr. Mayworth. Looks like you're stuck in the middle, the professor smiles at me. Hope that's okay with you. I put your robot's box under the center table, by the way. I thank her and gather up Ruby to head into our room. Middle, is it, huh, Ruby? I say, shutting my new bedroom door. Silence greets me on the other side, and I stand still for a moment, feeling strangely alone. I really shouldn't have taken you apart, I say to the box in my arms, as I stare at my piles of luggage. You could have helped me unpack. Daylight shines in through the gym's windows as I run around the indoor track. That same daylight woke me up at odd hours all last night, since I didn't notice until this morning that there were polarizing filters I could adjust on my solar glass to block out the sun. Antarctica in January is really, really strange. I guess I have to be grateful to the everlasting sun, though. Waking up on repeat helped me escape the nightmares I kept having of the boat attack. I stop running and do a few stretches. I know the only way to get the sounds of those drones bombing us out of my head will be to keep myself busy and distracted, which shouldn't be too hard. After all, I am here to train for the coolest space mission since Apollo 11. As I head back to the dorm, Anna pushes past me in the hall, beelining it to our rooms after her kickboxing session, probably so she can beat me to the shower. I'd initially hoped Anna wouldn't be as standoffish as I remembered, but I tried to knock on her door last night and was completely ignored. And the only thing she said to me this morning was some sort of uppity grunt when I first entered the gym. Back in my room, I sit down at my desk. Anna's a quandary to sort out later. Right now, there are two symbols on my tablet telling me I have an incoming call and also a voice message. I peer closer at the incoming call first. It's from Sasha. Reaching forward, I tap the bouncing symbol with my finger, smiling at the prospect of seeing a familiar face. Hello? Sasha's image pops up in front of me, and in the back of my mind, I remember that I haven't showered yet. Oh well, Sasha's sandy hair sticks up in all directions, and he's wearing the same t-shirt he's always in, so I'm sure he's not judging. Regent, Sasha says. Been a busy few days for you. How are you doing? Hey, Sasha, I reply. Been kind of a whirlwind. Behind him, I can see his robot, Comet, skitter up his wall. Looks like he's doing a set of diagnostic exercises. Normally, I'd point out that Ruby runs those faster, but I figure that might be kind of rude now that I've won the big competition we've ever been in together. You're an international star now. Sasha stretches back in his desk chair. Random attacks probably come with the territory, no? Do they really? I ask, rubbing my face with my hand. Glad you're okay, Sasha says. How's Ruby? In pieces, but not from the attacks. I'm upgrading her nanowiring. Again? Scared I'm going to get an edge on you now that you've got all this astronaut training to do? Behind him, Comet slides back down and spins, and I'm sure Sasha's having him do that on purpose just for our vid chat. Don't think I'm going to slack off, I retort. You better not either. Wouldn't dream of it, Sasha replies, but then his expression changes and his voice gets quiet. So, just so you know, we didn't do it. Do what? Sasha clicks a remote, settling Comet into a resting position. The attack. It's not Russia. Americans think it is. They're protesting. People have actually sent me threats. What? I stare at him. Could you say something, maybe? Something to calm Americans down? My parents are getting scared. Sasha continues. They keep talking about the war, and I need to get them to shut up. I promised I would ask you. Yeah, I reply, nodding. Yeah, I'll do what I can. Sorry. It's fine, he says. No, about everything. Well, you would have deserved this just as much as me. Sasha snorts. Don't worry about that. I'll find some other way to outdo you, Regent. I smile. If that's how it's going to be, you're on. Actually, I'm off, he says. Then the screen goes dark. I laugh until I see the second bouncing dot and remember that I have a message. I flick it open. It's from Mary and Michael, just the people I need to talk to. Did you know people are blaming Russia for the attack on us? I ask Esteban, as all 6 of us file into the dining room for breakfast. What? Why? He asks. People think they're still sore about a U.S. nominee getting picked when their own didn't. But Raheem was attacked too. Esteban grabs Raheem by the shoulder of his dress shirt. Why would Russia be angry with Pakistan? They were allies. Raheem's eyes are as big as moons. He struggles out of Esteban's grip. I don't know, he says, smoothing his shirt, but there are many others who could have wanted to attack me. What others? I ask. I'd rather not talk about it, Raheem replies. His tone is grim, and he says nothing else as he takes a seat at the table. On the other side of the table, Najma and Anna sit down together, and Tamaki stretches in his chair. Despite his yawning, his hair is perfectly spiked, so he clearly hasn't just rolled out of bed. Hey, Anna, what are you so sad about over there? Esteban asks. Sad? She looks up sharply. You haven't smiled even once yet this morning. I wince, watching this unfold. I'm not sad, Anna says. I just don't feel like smiling. Why not? Esteban gestures around the dining room. We're here to train for Mars, and we're making new friends. Life is pretty much amazing right now. Anna stares at him. I haven't made any friends yet. Esteban's eyebrows knit together. But what about Esteban? I catch his eye. It's fine. We'll all become friends in time.